If Jon Jones gets his way with what he's demanding of the UFC, he will permanently ruin the UFC and MMA as a whole. Because let's be honest, ruining the UFC is ruining MMA. Now, what is Jon Jones doing right now? He's asking for a boatload of cash. He's refusing to fight his number one contender. He's been extremely inactive, okay? He's had, 3 fights in the past 5 years? Something like that, okay? What do all of those things that I just said remind you of? It reminds you of the current state of boxing. It reminds you why boxing has died as a sport. Okay? Think about the issues that boxing has. The champions don't fight the guys that they should be fighting. They ask for well too much money, and they're extremely inactive. All of those things Jon Jones is doing right now. And I truly believe if the UFC caves to Jon Jones' desires, they will set a really bad precedent for the future and potentially ruin the UFC as a whole. Now, one by one, I want to go through every single one of these points, how Jon Jones is promoting it and how it will absolutely ruin the UFC, and we can't stand for it, man. Like, if you care about the sport, we can't let this happen. So, starting off with the first point, which is asking for an insane amount of money. Now, UFC fighters deserve to be compensated. Obviously, they put a lot of work in. They put a lot on the line. They deserve to be compensated. But no single person should be getting paid 50 fucking million to have a fight. That is outrageous amounts of money. Insane amounts of money. Okay? And if we cave in giving Jon Jones that amount, what do you think other champions are going to do? This isn't a Jon Jones issue. Jon Jones is gone after his next fight. Okay? But think about this. Other champions are going to start demanding this money. Not even the same amount, but imagine Pantoja demanding 10 million, otherwise he's not going to fight. Imagine fucking Juliana Pena demanding fucking 10 million or she won't fight. Okay? We'll even have good champions demanding a lot more money than they should be getting, okay? Really? If someone is a long-time champ or a big superstar, the range of 5 to 10 million is fair enough, but we should not be going above the fucking 20 million mark. Okay? We shouldn't be doing that. If we allow this to happen, we will not get the fights that we want. We won't. Because we all know Dana's a stingy little fucking so-and-so, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna let that happen. And we ain't gonna get the fights that we want to see. Because then we get rid of the power from the promoter and we give it to the fighters, whether you like it or not. From a fan perspective, it's better that the promoter has the power. Moving on to the next point, which is people not fighting their deserving number one contender. Now, the UFC overall throughout its history has done a pretty good job at making people fight who they should be fighting, okay? Normally, champions can't just pick and choose. But lately, we've been seeing that happening, okay? The only example I can think really from the past was Bisping fighting Dan Henderson, which was fucking abysmal, by the way. Like, that should have never been allowed to happen. But in the past year, we have 2 examples of this already in Sean fighting Chito Vera and Jon Jones fighting Stipe Miocic instead of Tom Aspinall. Now, MMA as a sport is built on the best fighting the best. If we don't see the best fight the best, what the fuck is the point? What is the point? It's useless. None of it fucking matters. None of it matters. And if Jon Jones gets away with not fighting his number one fucking tender, then I know I'm relating this a lot to other champions are just going to do this, but that's generally what will happen. Other champions will try to repeat Jon Jones' behaviour. And if we let Jon Jones not fight his number one contender, certain champions are going to be expecting this. Champions are going to pull out the line of, I don't think this guy deserves it. I want this fight. We can't allow this to happen. We need to see the best fight the fucking best. Moving on to the third and final reason. Activity. Jon Jones should have been stripped of his belt. He didn't fight for a very long time and completely got away with it. He could have fought at International Fight Week, but he wanted to fight at MSG. So, okay, we're just going to wait another 5 fucking months. The injury I get, refusing to fight when he could, that there shouldn't be leeway with. I'm coughing, okay? That they shouldn't be leeway with. We shouldn't allow that. I understand a lot of champions before have got away with inactivity. Connor's the main example, which he didn't fight for like 2 years. But we can't let this become normalized, okay? And that's all the points ran through. But we need to stop Jon Jones' behaviour before he literally completely ruins the fucking sport as a whole by being a selfish fucking prick. Thank you for listening.